Good morning. Welcome to 4x8 Paper Stuff. We are in day 8, the last day in my 2024 Missouri Star Quilt Journal. I added a little bit of history of the town, and I added a little bit of history. I added the quilt that I made, and the next one I'm going to make, which is the exact same pattern, but different colors. So I just managed to make it all fit in the pages that I had. I added one page day before yesterday where I talked about my flat tire. But the front pages are for 2023, which I'm almost done with, and 2022, which I have not even started. But I'm through with it for right now. I might bring it back sometime in the summer or in the fall and say, let's just finish these up and do some really quick spreads. I have these many years now, because this is my 7th year of going. No, my 8th year of going, 7th year with this group. So I have every story I could tell already told, but it's fun to just keep reliving a treat that I get to do for myself with some great people from all over the world, and the fact that we all enjoy quilting and sewing and the fabric and the colors and the patterns, and we graduated from some of the same high schools. I graduated from a lady that lives in Kansas with the same high school in California. So I think and she was 15 years older than me. So I think that's fabulous. Those kind of things. And it was really quick. I made a conscious effort this year to take pictures of some of the store fronts so that I could honor the history of this little town and what this town turned into. It was an abandoned farm town that was also a little bit of a factory town on Highway 36, I think it is, that goes across the top of Missouri. And they had a Stride-Rite factory here. They had another factory here after the Stride-Rite factory went overseas. But then it was abandoned. And so this little family, the lady, Jenny Doan, started taking in quilting and doing quilting for people. Because a lot of people started since 2000, started sending their quilts off to be quilted. Some people enjoy that process. I do not. And it's called quilting by credit card, and you send it off and somebody quilts it for you and you get it back and it's lovely. She started doing that. Then when she had a son that was very technical, and because they're from California, and she's like, what? He said, Mom, I'm going to film you doing some of these quilts that you do and put it on a YouTube channel. She's like, nobody wants to watch that. Well, she immediately broke her leg. So the first few videos, which I don't even know if are still up, were her in a cast, hobbling around. But her son filmed her, and it has turned into this gigantic quilting business, which, yes, it coincided with the birth of YouTube. But he was smart enough and technical enough to do all that. And he and his sister now own the company, and the mother is the face of it, but the kids own it. And it has turned into this humongous worldwide business, which I think is kind of cool. They are a study program at BYU. They have BYU students come there in the summer and intern, or other times of the year, and intern there as a business study program. Just really cool what they have done. And they've done a lot for the community. There is some controversy in the community because some of the community does not want these people here. But the community has stayed viable, and it has grown a little bit, and it has employed a ton of people. The last day in this journal for this year. Do I have previous years to work on? Yes. Did I get most of 2023 done? Yes. Is it all done? No. Am I okay with that? Most likely. I might take it out one day and just say, remember this journal? We're going to work on it today. Let go of the paper clips. All right, let me move some stuff out of the way so I can kind of get this in picture. But I started with 2023 before I left. And last year, it snowed as I was landing at the airport. So I still have some plain stuff, lots of maps, a horror tale about rental cars, a lesson learned. Even though I have to learn how to play the system. It's not really a lesson. It's just how you play the system. The quilt the group made. Just the largest spool of thread in the world is in Hamilton, Missouri. Quilts that I would love to make. The quilt that I did make, which is hanging here in my craft room. I'll put that at the end. It's a curtain. And I used a lot of yellow because my grandmother, who did a ton of quilting later in life, a lot of sewing early in life, not so much midlife, and then went back to quilting at the end of her life and did it all by hand. Yeah. And just neat things. We got to see live streams. I don't have all the stories written on here. Last year we got to see 2 live streams. This year we did not see any during my time. Our picture of our group. I still have to add some stuff in there. Or in there. Anyhow, that was the end of 2023. I did not finish it. So I've got a few more things I can add in. 2024, I drove. And drove. And drove. But yeah. It was 1,900 miles. Will I do it again? The jury's still out. Immediately I said no. Now I'm just like, a bunch of journal cards, which you have seen me make. Coffee, where everybody's from. My routine, left early every morning, stopped mid-afternoon. How many miles? 1,974. The animals I saw. And this was a hotel key envelope, which it was at Route 66 in Lebanon, Missouri. I saw a skunk. That was fun. My name tag, where we had our barcodes and all of our account information was on there every day when you went shopping. And then a bunch of the quilts that everybody made. The story about how we all contributed to this quilt last year. Then this lady won it, who lives in Australia. She came back with it, all quilted and put together. And then my roommate won it again. She goes, I'm not taking it back to Australia. But it's fun. The quilt, the main quilt that I made a bunch of little Halloween stuff. Well, I started some Halloween stuff. But how I made this quilt, which was this pattern that could either be, it was a modification by Jenny Doan, who does this Missouri Star quilt. She's the face of it. Her son owns it. Her son and daughter own it. But she took this quilt and made a variation for herself, red, white, and blue. And then she also did one in Christmas colors. But I just thought it was cool how you could divide like shades of colors or tones of colors or holiday colors or whatever, and divide it with these stars. And it's relatively easy, except that you would know about the math that took me to get here, but that's a whole nother story. That's me trying to take a square that's a half square triangle, which is this right here, and half of that is gray and half of that is red, and you have to put them at different angles sometimes, and then you have to start those out at different sizes and then square them down, what they call squaring them down to 5 inches. But what size do I start with to make sure I get the points of every star? Took me a while. Yes, there are rulers for all that nowadays, but it still took me a while to get there. And some help from one of the ladies there, but that's okay. I got it. When I got it, I started rolling, and I just had to be careful every line. How many blue squares? How many angle squares? Were they blue or were they red? Which angles they went at? And then how many red squares for every single row. I did that. And once I got going, I was okay. But it took me a day to get going. And my excuse is there's lots of stuff going on all around you. Everybody's making beautiful quilts. Everybody's going shopping. Everybody's talking about what they did last year. And this is a group of about 30 people now. So, yeah. Well, no, it's closer to 20, I guess. It's just so much fun. And this was our 7th year. And then this was a little blurb about the town. This year I was more conscious about taking titles of the stores, because there's a city block, both sides, that have nothing but quilt stores in them. One side has florals, one side has boutiques, one side has baby quilts, one side has holiday. And I added a ton of Christmas stuff. One side has licensed fabric like the Avengers or the national parks or cartoon characters, whatever. That is all in there. And one side has solids. One side has kind of like an introduction and all the books that Jenny has written and all the books that they have produced with patterns. It was really cool, but there's 2 murals, one on this side of the street and the other one is on this side of the street where the retreat center is, which is where we stay. And just my favorite store is Florals because that's where K Facet is. And just amazing, 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 amazing. And then this was like the tire debacle that I had and me stopping for coffee, which was, or go to the bathroom, whichever came first, or whichever store I could find to go in. Because I did all back roads, it's hard to find rest areas that have restrooms. So I always kind of would look out for a Walmart, except that Walmart is being taken over by Dollar Generals, and Dollar Generals will not always let you use their bathrooms. So it was usually down to the wire where I could find a Walmart in a small town. Because, I mean, some of these towns that I went through had like population 36, seriously. The average small town population was about 1,000, going through most of the farm country, which was 3/4 of my trip. Then you'd get to Atlanta, or you'd get to, I didn't go through Kansas City. I dodged Kansas City and I dodged Little Rock, Arkansas, and Birmingham. I dodged all of those cities, but Atlanta paid for, I paid for Atlanta. But anyhow, it was fun, fun, fun. Got 2 nails repaired out of my tire. And I made it home safely. And that is that for another year. So I'm going to put it all back in my envelope that has MSQ in it, Missouri Star Quilts, and put it away till next year, or maybe one day in November when I'm like, I think I want to do something. But I have a plethora of these guys. And I might do something with those. I don't know. I didn't save every key card this year, because I have 20 or 25 of them. And you can only use so many. So, all of this goes in my MSQ bag till next year. And hopefully I can find it next year. I think that we'll be able to. I'm getting better at that kind of stuff. Being able to find stuff the following year. Now, there's this little pile of stuff up here. I'm trying to see what can go in here. This can go in here. Oh, I still am going to make a copy of this and these so that I can have them. These are Branson maps. Not Branson. Route 66. I think I'll put those in here. There's another one of Springfield. Did you know Springfield is the home of Brad Pitt? I didn't see them, FYI. I looked for them. A couple colleges. I stayed close to one of the colleges. Because once I was on the north end of town. So that I could get out early and get to Missouri, to Hamilton by noon. Because I had a lunch date with my roommate and her family. And then from then on we sewed. So, ready for next year. Thank you for paying attention and watching and listening to some of my silly stories. Oh, shoot. I covered up the sign and I didn't want to cover up my sign. That I still did. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. I want to be able to say, what is this? What's this envelope stuffed with? MSQ. And now it goes over here. And tomorrow I'm starting a new project. Not really sure what it's going to be yet. That's the fun of it. See you all then. I'm going to go take a picture of my quilt now. Bye.